Morning light through the window pane, coffee steaming, no rush, no lane. World's been shouting all night long. I pour a cup, let the silence talk. I didn't leave angry, didn't storm the door. I just stepped sideways away from the roar. Pull up a chair, let the clock unwind. This isn't breaking news, it's breaking the grind. They sell fear by the hour, package rage by the pound. Every screen's got an opinion, every voice trying to sound like they know what's coming, like they've cracked the code. But the loudest ones panic when you step off the road. I've seen cycles repeat, watch them rise, watch them fall. Empires shouting forever right before they stall. So I sip and I watch, let the headlines fight. Truth don't need a megaphone, it waits out the night. They want speed, they want fire, they want sides, they want lines, they want heroes and villains every damn time. But life ain't a headline, ain't red versus blue. It's quiet decisions people never review. Yeah, yeah, they want me. Loud? Nah, freedom's calm. It's knowing when to walk while the others all run. I'm not late to the party, I just left it early. Seen how it ends, same mess, same worry. Take a breath, let the cup cool down. The world will keep spinning without your sound. We'll be right here when the dust don't fly. Coffee on the table, morning in the sky. This is coffee time, Liz. No need to run. We'll talk again when the day's begun. I'm 10 years old in a junkyard town. Sunbeam Alpine, windows down. Men twice my size, I learned their names by broken bolts and open flames. Ice at night, steel by day. Weight was truth, it never lied. I didn't dream, I didn't wait. I lifted what was in my way. Hard iron, dust in time. Hands get strong when hunger's mine. You don't ask, you don't pretend. You carry weight until it bends. Hard iron, burned in skin. Boy grows old before he's been. Anything soft falls behind. Just hard iron and time. "15 years in a motel room. Dish pit heat, red sauce fumes. Chef saw something I couldn't name. Put a knife in my hand, taught me flame. Responsibility came fast. Men got quiet, watched me work. Pressure didn't break my back. It showed me who I was worth. Hard iron, earn respect. You're only good as what you fix. No applause, no safety net. Just what you handle, what you miss. Hard iron, steady grind. Identity got forged in line. Nothing pushed, nothing kind. Just hard iron in time. Uniform tight, mind pulled thin. Learn control by boxing in it. Anger leash not thrown away. Put it to work, made it stay. Systems break, I see the seams. I build them straight, I make them run. Didn't notice what it cost. I only noticed what got done. Years stack up like loaded plates. Heart keeps pace, it never complains. You tell yourself you're built for this. That strength forgives, that grit persists. Then one day the body speaks. Not a warning, just release. Cold floor, white lights overhead. Doctors' words don't raise their voice. Heart don't care what you've survived. I didn't leave because I was angry. I left because everything got loud. Every voice trying to win the moment. Nobody listening to the ground. I wanted space, not distance from reality. Distance from the noise, pretending to be reality. I stepped off the treadmill, left the shouting behind. No flashing banners in my head, just space to think and time. They sell you urgency, they sell you fear. Every voice is louder, but nothing's clear. I don't listen to what's promised, I watch what happens. I don't follow tone, I follow patterns. No borrowed fear, no rented rage, just facts moving across the page. What's the bills? Choices form. Watch who bends, watch who storms. Signals matter, noise is cheap. What they say versus what they keep. This is Sane in Colombia, where the volume comes down. No talking points, no marching sound. I don't chase the noise, I don't rent my mind. I step back far enough to see the design. Coffee on the table, mountains in the frame. Thinking for myself, that's how I stay sane. Living sane in Colombia. Sane in Colombia. Sane in Colombia.
Good morning. Welcome back to another reaction video, something new I'm playing with, and we'll get right to it. This popped up on my feed. I thought it was pretty fascinating. It's a brand new political party that just started a few days ago. What was interesting is like right after the release of the announcement of this new party, they took a poll and it was already over 10%. Which put it third on the list. This was hours after it was released. And this advertisement, which I'm going to show you, it's about a 7-minute ad. They bought time, showed it on TV, and it made quite the impression. So let's take a look.
I have chosen to speak to you today from the farm, because places like this represent what proper Britain is about. Hard work, responsibility, effort, duty, stewardship. This is the England I know, and this is the England that I love. On a farm, you don't think in election cycles or headlines or polling. You think in seasons, you think in generations, in what you leave behind to those who come after you. And that's why, here on the farm, I am now launching Restore Britain as a national political party. I'm now going to dedicate my life to finding, organising, funding, and providing hundreds of qualified candidates to present to the British people at the next general election. This process has already started, with invitations being issued to patriots in aligned political parties, Reform, the Conservatives, the SDP, Advance, and more. In local politics, we will work in partnership with localised political parties, such as Great Yarmouth First, that have the best interests of their residents at heart, combining our forces at the next general election. The men and women standing for Restore in that election will not be politicians. I promise you that. They will not be failed ministers. They will not be tainted by failures of the past. They will be from business, from the military, from science, from medicine, from education, from industry, representing real communities up and down the country. Every single one will be from well outside the existing political establishment, and every single one will understand the difficult decisions that need to be taken. Because there are no easy fixes. I'm not going to tell you comforting lies about the condition of our country. I have only ever been honest with the British people, and I will be straight with you now. What is necessary will be incredibly painful. But for the first time in a very long time, voters will have a genuine alternative which is truthful with them about the scale of what now has to be done. The first priority is to control who comes to our country, and more importantly, who stays in our country. Restore Britain will not just stop mass immigration, we will reverse it. Every single illegal migrant will be securely detained and then deported. The message will be unrelenting. If you are in this country without our permission, you will be removed. For the foreseeable future, far more people must leave Britain than arrive. If a foreign national is unable to speak English, lives in social housing, claims benefits, refuses to work, fails to integrate, commits crime, or even actively hates our way of life and wishes to do us harm, then they must leave or be made to leave. Restore Britain will make our communities safe again for women and children. That I promise you. If that means millions go, then millions go. We're constantly told that the economy needs vast swathes of low-skilled migrants. We know that's simply not true. What we need is to get millions of healthy Brits back into work. A radical overhaul of how welfare is delivered. Protecting those in genuine need, but not funding healthy shirkers to live off the back of hard-working men and women. If you can work, you must work. It really is that simple. Restore Britain will be abundantly clear. If you consistently refuse work, then you will lose your benefits. We will punish indolence, and more importantly, we will reward success. We will provide vast economic incentives for men and women to start businesses, generate opportunities, build wealth, and create self-sufficient families. Standing here today on the farm, I know exactly what it means to deal with energy bills, labor shortages, regulation, unproductive paperwork, planning restrictions, tax, and endless uncertainty. The state has definitively become the enemy of the people. Restore Britain will burn away suffocating taxes on work and enterprise. We will slash unnecessary regulation. We will dismantle bloated quangos and the overbearing HR culture. We must crush parasitic Britain. We will restore long-term, stable, logical policy so that businesses can plan and invest and grow again. But Restore Britain is about much more than numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about who we are as a nation and who we are as a people. Britain is not just an economy. Britain is not just an idea. Britain is not just a passport. Britain is a nation. Britain is a people, our people. And Restore Britain will never allow that to be erased. We will celebrate our Christian heritage and the identity that built and shaped this country. Responsibility, restraint, forgiveness, duty, and fairness. In short, a high-trust society. That will mean defending our culture. That will mean resisting the relentless creep of radical Islam. That will mean banning the burqa, outlawing Sharia law, blocking cousin marriages, and reimposing our Christian-based rule of law. A Restore Britain government would legislate to ensure that no halal or kosher slaughter on British soil. This is Britain, and we will do things our way. This political party now exists for one reason: to restore Britain, to make it a better, safer, and more prosperous place for British men and women to raise their families. It will be difficult, and it will be painful. But I assure you, it is possible. I hope you will consider joining me on this journey and becoming a member of our party. It is our country. It is now our collective responsibility to act. Together, we will restore Britain. Thank you.
What amazes me is this is even controversial. This was always the norm. It's hard to understand how people got convinced of anything other than this. And what comes to mind is I was having a conversation in person with someone who wanted to talk about, here I am living in Colombia and other people are living in Colombia, but we have an opinion about people having to enter other countries legally. They phrased it differently, like, oh, the poor illegals. And it was a human being can't be illegal. Well, they're not illegal, but they can certainly commit a crime. And when I entered into Colombia with my lost passport and had to bypass it in order to get to the embassy in Bogota so that I could order a new passport so I could go back over the border and then re-enter to be able to prove that I entered legally, there was a couple weeks window of time where I was illegal. And had I been caught, there were consequences to it. And I knew that. And it wasn't anything I would argue about. I certainly wouldn't blame Colombia. Their laws are the laws. And when you point to say, yeah, well, you're living in another country, how can you have an opinion about people, the illegals in any other country like the United States? And it's very simple. I went through the anal inspection it takes in order to be in another country, the background check, all of that. I paid the money. I waited the time. I got my visa. I renew my visa. I don't commit any crimes or problems here so that I can renew yet another visa. I go through the system that they have here that makes me 100% perfectly legal. Now I'm a resident of this country legally. It's a whole different issue. Had I been caught with my passport not proving that I'd entered the country legally, there was a fine of, as I recall, it was about $5,000. But there were two choices. They could take me and dump me across the border, or I could go to prison for whatever period of time. Those were the two choices. And I wouldn't have gotten to make the choices. Colombia would have decided what they felt was best. Plus, it would have put a ban on me from entering into Colombia for an extended period of time. I think it was 5 years. I don't recall all the details now, but I was sweating bullets during that time because I knew. But I was kind of, it was a tough situation to be in because I really had to do something to get my passport. So, fingers crossed, and live with a terrible insecurity while I'm going through that. So people that are going through that currently in the United States or in countries in Europe that are doing the same thing. I get how they're feeling. On the other hand, it's the way it is. And you knew that. You knew that's how it was going to be, just like I knew. And had I been caught, it would have been all crap. It's like that's just how it goes. You don't blame people or prey on their oh, poor me, there's no such thing as illegal. Well, yeah, there is. There is. It's called breaking the rules. So anyway, I thought this was pretty amazing to actually see it, but then it struck me as there wasn't anything really unreasonable about it. If you go back 40, 50 years, that was normal. And who along the way convinced us otherwise? And currently, it seems like all the compassion for the people that are invading countries, but there's zero compassion for the people in those countries paying the price. And it's a very unfair situation. So I'm glad to see this. I don't know what's going to happen. Thought it was interesting. Thought I'd put it on here. And of course, spit out my 2 cents that nobody cares about, but I did it anyway. So see you next time. Ciao.
Wow.